one of us came up with this idea that we should put our home on Airbnb while we're at this trip in Utah. And so we took this idea and we just implemented it.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, it was really easy for us to implement because of why?
We had already had properties on Airbnb. So we understood the logistics of how to make it work. It was literally just plugging it in and making it available for somebody to book.
And so when you went to make this listing on Airbnb, like how did it differ than the listings that we had for our full-time short-term rentals?
Nothing differed other than the description. In the description, first and foremost, I put that this is our primary home. So the individual staying there knows that it's our home. It's not a typical Airbnb, but with it being our primary home, it is fully stocked with anything that you could ever need while you're living.
Like what are some things that
kitchen supplies are awesome. Bathroom supplies are an awesome incentive to book a primary home of somebody's.
So are those things that aren't necessarily normal in other Airbnbs that have like full spices, full condiments?
No.
Full on kitchen accessories, bathroom accessories?
No. Usually there's at least salt and pepper. Sometimes there's some spices and sultries, but other than that, usually you're kind of limited to salt and pepper.
Awesome. And so outside of having all the bathroom supplies and having all the kitchen supplies, like what else makes somebody who's booking our personal home different than they would get from a normal short-term rental?
Yeah. Our cost is slightly less because it's our primary, and we just make it so people book it.
Yeah. So cost is one thing. So it makes it more affordable, right? Because it's not a full-time Airbnb. What else? What are some of the actual like things inside the house, like the look and feel of it that is different?
It's our home.
Yeah.
There's clothes in there. There's
clothes in there.
Toys in there. There's kids' toys in there. Yeah.
And how do people respond to clothes and toys and food being left in the fridge that is ours?
They have never said anything.
Do they even care?
No, they don't. We do a really good job of kind of putting, most common, hide your underwear in a drawer, put your clothes in the closet. But other than that, we live pretty simplistically. So it's not like there's stuff all over our house. But we put our stuff away. We put it behind. We don't even have cabinet doors by any means. We have a curtain that we close, and behind the curtain is all of our clothes. Nobody has said anything about our clothes or our food being there.
So the people don't care, right? People don't care about our clothes. They don't care about our food. What about pictures? Do we have any pictures on the wall?
That's a good question. No, we don't have any family pictures because we like to. We're not a happy family. We don't like each other. No, we love each other very much, and we want other people to be able to experience our house. And maybe it would be weird if you had personal photos all over your house, but no, I don't have personal photos of our family house.
But we used to, right? And when we first got started, what would we do with some of our like more personal stuff?
Yeah, we would just put it in. So we actually have a 3-bedroom home, and one of the bedrooms we listed as a 2-bedroom home. So one of the bedrooms was basically like a storage room for all of our personal stuff while we were gone. You could lock it. We actually didn't lock it. But basically we used it as a storage room that was not used for the guests staying. It just, it housed all of our personal supplies while we were gone.
So that's a key point. So if you notice that, like, we have a 3-bedroom home, but on Airbnb, we listed it as 2 bedrooms. Say only 2 bedrooms were available. That way we could use a 3rd bedroom as a way to store some of our stuff that we had. And that's what we used to do. Now we open up all 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Right. But if you need that, you can have that as a room, or if you have a garage, or if you have a storage shed. These are all things that we've already maximized as well. If you couldn't tell, we maximize every square inch of space. We are currently in a storage closet, and this will be made into an office.
It looks beautiful. One day we'll turn the camera around and
you can only see this, but you don't see the rest of it. And I turned this into a nice little office. So we're good at maximizing space. With that being said, so now we took all of our stuff down. What about the people? Like, do they care? Again, like, so we got into it. We don't care about our clothes, our food, our personal belongings. What about like something that's really like, what about like valuables? What about like guns and money and keys to your car? What about your car? Things like that.
Yeah, great question. To be completely transparent, we don't really own a ton of valuable stuff. The stuff that we own that is valuable, we do share with the tenants who come. We just live a simplistic life. So
we're simplistic, but what sort of advice would you give to people who have stuff? Because most people do have stuff. Right?
Yeah,
they have
totally.
stuff. They're
Lock
valuable
it up.
stuff. Where?
In a safe, in a bedroom that you're not actually going to let the tenants use. Yeah. Anywhere, a storage unit, whatever.
Yeah. So simply just like put your valuable stuff in a place where the people coming in can't get access to it. So again, like there's such thing as locks out there. You might have to spend, $5, $10, $20 to get a lock and put a lock on a door or on a storage closet or whatever it may be in order to keep your valuables away from any sort of situation where a tenant might get access to it.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Put it away. Yes.
So put it away. Okay. What about this? Has anybody ever like destroyed our home? Like, have we come home and just been like, oh no, like it's destroyed? Has that ever happened?
So we have no. It's never happened.
Oh, no. Okay.
No. Hard no. Of the tenants that we've had in our personal home, I think we actually come home to a cleaner house than when we leave it. I think they're more respectful because they know it is our primary home. They follow the rules. Not that the other Airbnbs the rules are not followed. They absolutely are. But for the most part, it's our primary house, and it has never been left so clean. We clean it before we leave. We make sure it's tidy, and we walk in and it looks the exact same. Super clean. People are very respectful when it's your primary home.
Yeah. What are some of the nuances that you've noticed that people will do when they stay in our home versus things that you've seen when you're getting ready to clean one of our other short-term rentals? Like, what are some things that you've noticed
that they do?
Yeah.
They actually strip the beds. They actually put their dishes away. We don't have a dishwasher.
PSA out there: if you're staying in short-term rentals, strip the beds. Makes it very, very easy. Makes it very, very nice on the person who's cleaning it. So, side tangent. Go.
Don't make your bed when you leave, at least, because they probably won't change the sheets.
Yeah, if you want to do the next guest a disservice, make the bed like no one's ever slept in it, because then the cleaners will just think that no one ever slept in it. They'll just leave it alone, and then lo and behold, the next person comes in and they're sleeping in your nasty
dead skin.
Oh. And then all of a sudden they open
strip the bed, please.
So just strip the bed. Anyway, sorry, go for it.
No, I think they actually pick up a little bit better than the other short-term rentals.
We've had people not even stay in our bed before.
Because we have a nice ass couch.
We have a nice couch. But so people just like, they don't want to stay in our bed, they'll like sleep on the couch.
Yeah. No, they do a much better job of actually respecting the home in general. They're tidy, they're clean. Like I said, we don't have a dishwasher, so they actually put the dishes away. It's written out in the rule book, but it's not like, I mean, if people wash the dishes and put them in the drying rack in the other Airbnbs, I'm happy. Most of the time, 90% of the time, they actually put them away as well in our house. Which is a great point you just made there. You talked about a rule book. So you talked about a rule book for our personal home. We also have rule books for our actual short-term rentals. So explain a little bit what a rule book is. Yeah, a rule book is basically what my expectations are of tenants. And honestly, it's changed over time. Anything is better than nothing. So if you want the garbage to be taken out, tell them to take out the garbage when they're done. Wait. So you're saying that if you actually tell somebody what your rules are, they might actually follow it? They might. It is not absolutely 100% foolproof, but the chances of them following your rules that are written are a lot better than your rules that are not communicated. Oh, they're not gonna follow my unwritten, unsaid, uncommunicated rules? Oh, isn't that frustrating? Oh, I hate that. That makes me so mad. You do that to me all the time. Those are like my preferences. You don't follow my preferences? I have this rule book right here. You stop projecting your preferences on me. So great point to be made. Like, communicate your rules, right? And tell them this. So this is away from our primary home, but tell them a funny story about what happened with our basement apartment down here and rules of smoking. Will you please tell that story? This is a great story. So we housed some kids over, not kids, they were young men. They weren't even young. They were old men, contractors over the holidays. So in December, we left for 2 weeks, and the general contractor was housing his contractors while he was gone for the holidays, and they didn't travel home, so they needed a place to stay. So we rented out our basement to them over Christmas. It was an awesome time, awesome guests. They communicated from the time that they moved in to the time that they moved out. We're out of town, and my cleaners go into the basement, and they are like, it reeks of cigarettes in here. And I was like, shoot, we have guests checking in like 2 days. Like, how the heck are we going to de-stink this place? So they were actually moving from one of our 3-bedroom short-term rentals into a studio short-term rental. And I just called the guy and I said, hey, just to be clear, like, absolutely no smoking in our facilities. So I just wanted to communicate it with you. I messaged him this on the Airbnb app. He instantly calls me and he's like, ma'am, I am so sorry. It is me. I'm the one that smokes. It was not written in the rule book. I read it. I'm very much a rule follower. Like, I'm so sorry. The guys that are staying, they don't smoke. You don't need to worry about it. So I couldn't even like get mad at the guy because it was all my fault because I didn't put it in the rule books. It says no drugs and no partying, but there was absolutely no place where it said no smoking.
And so that goes back to us assuming
that people don't smoke inside anymore.
And just to put a caveat, like, okay, well, yeah, there doesn't say no smoking, but as our culture, like, not to smoke in the house. But culture, what was this guy's culture?
He followed rules.
No, like, was he an American?
Oh no, he was not.
He was not American.
No.
Right. He was a foreign guest, and so like to him, like he didn't understand that's an unimplied rule, or an implied rule that you don't smoke in someone's house. But he was a foreigner.
Yeah.
So again, whose fault was that?
But he was very much a rule follower.
Was that his fault?
No, it was totally my fault.
Our fault, right? And so I think it's important to, like, the more you communicate your rules, your expectations, the more likely they are to follow them. Okay. There's always people who are rule breakers that are in. You know who you are. You're the rule breakers, right? You're the rule breakers.
And this guy, bless his heart, he was not a rule breaker. All he was so apologetic. He's like, I'll pay for whatever to fix it. Like, I just didn't know that was the rule. And obviously he didn't know that it was the rule.
We are forever learning, one step at a time.